Good morning. Today we are going to work on the patchwork purse. Okay, I have my cutaway stabilizer all hooped and I'm going to send it to the machine to do the placement stitch for the zipper. Okay, we have the placement stitch. As you can see, it has a curve. So you're going to line your zipper up right in the center between the two top lines, between those two lines. Line it up and then curve it along as such and tape it in place. Okay. Sometimes I put a little at the bottom as well, just to kind of hold it so I know it's going to stay there. Okay, now send it over to the machine for the tack down, and it will also do the placement stitch for the first piece of vinyl. Okay, it's tacked down my zipper and it's did my first placement stitch. I'm going to remove my tape from here now so I don't forget, because I don't like tape getting caught between my stitches. Okay, so the first piece of vinyl or fabric that you're going to use, you're going to place over your placement stitch. We're going to trim the top and the sides like this, but you want a 1/2 inch overhang on the side over here and the bottom. So I'm going to take and tape mine just over so I don't have too much to trim. And I'm just going to tape it in place and send it over for the tack down. Okay, as you can see, it's did the tack down. So now I'm just going to trim the top and the sides. I'm going to leave the bottom because that's the bit that's going to hold your purse together when you sew your seam. So I get to here, and then I'm just going to cut straight down, okay? As such. All right, now I'm going to send it over to the machine and do the next placement stitch. Okay, as you can see, it did the placement stitch. So this piece of fabric, you're going to put face down because you're going to fold it over. Okay, so you want to have enough that you're just going to go over the edge of the other vinyl here, just over the edge, and tape it in place and do a tack down, okay? Okay, it's did its tack down. I'm going to remove my tape here. And now you're going to fold this piece over, okay? And you're going to make it sure it's nice and even along the seam because the stitches will show. So you want it as nice and even down here. Then tape it in place and it will do a tack down. Okay, as you can see, it's tacked it down. Now you're going to trim it. And you're going to trim it at the top here and the side and the bottom if you have some there. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to send it over to the machine and it's going to do the placement stitch for the next piece. Okay, it has its placement stitch. So now you're going to tape a piece down just over the edge of that piece of vinyl and you're going to fold it over. So make sure you have enough vinyl there to when you fold over that it's going to catch all of that, okay? So I'm going to tape this in place right here over the edge. Oh, I have tape over here. And then I'm going to go tack it down. Tack it down. Okay, it's tacked it down. I could have did it a little more even, but oh well, it's not going to show anyway. So now I'm going to fold this over once again, making sure it's even, the same evenness across that whole thing. And I'm going to tape it in place, or I'm going to try to tape it in place. But the tape's stuck on my finger. Okay, tape it in place, and then it's going to go do a tack down. Okay, it's tacked it down. Now I'm going to trim it at the top and the bottom side, whatever you want to call it. Send it over the machine and it is going to do placement stitch for the next piece of vinyl. Okay, it's did the placement stitch. Now you're going to take a piece of vinyl and put it just over the edge of that and making sure you have enough to cover your peaks. Okay, so I'm going to just put this over the edge of that piece of vinyl, top and bottom, and tape it in place and then go tack it down. Okay, it's tacked it down. Now I'm going to fold this over again, nice and evenly here, so it's even all the way down. Tape it in place. and then go do a tack down. Okay, it's tacked it down. Now I'm going to trim the top. I'm not going to trim the bottom because the bottom is what we want to sew our bag together. So I'm going to do that and trim. I'm going to go out a little bit right there and leave that little bit just so I know it's caught on something, okay? All right, now I'll do the placement stitch, even though we really don't need one, but it will do a placement stitch for this corner. Okay, so did the placement. Now you're going to put another piece of vinyl like that. Once again, make sure you have enough to go a 1/2 inch over the edge and a 1/2 inch at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to take my piece of vinyl just over the edge there, and I'm going to tape it in place. Oops, I'm going to try to tape it in place once again. Okay, now tack it down. Okay, it's tacked it in place, tacked it down, I mean. Now I'm going to fold this over. Once again, we're going to go nice and even. So my stitch is even. Okay. Don't have so much room down here, but I'll just tape it right here for now. Okay, and now we'll go do a tack down. Okay, it's tacked it down. Now this one, the only bit you're going to trim is right here at the top, okay? The sides and bottom you're going to leave, although I don't need that much. I only really need a 1/2 inch, and I don't like it when it rolls up like that, so I'm going to put that down like that. Keep this little piece of tooled vinyl, and just FYI, the beautiful tooled vinyl is from mypunkembroidery.com. Okay, so now it's going to do the placement stitch for this, even though we don't need a placement stitch. I'm going to do one, okay, for the top part. Okay, it's did the placement stitch, so now you're going to take your vinyl and line it right along the edge of this vinyl here, making sure you have enough to fold up and go along that seam, or that edge of the zipper, I should say. So I'm going to tape this in place, go tack it down, and I shall be right back. Okay, it's tacked it down. Now I'm going to remove my tape here so I can repurpose it. I'm going to fold this up nice and even along that. And I'm going to tape it in place to hold it down. Okay, now it's going to do a tack down. Okay, as you can see, it's tacked that down. Now we're going to trim it, but we're only going to trim the top edge, okay? Try to make it nice and neat because that is going to show. I'm not going to say that was exactly nice and neat. Sometimes fixing things makes them... Hey, my magnet, my thing's caught to my magnet there. Or my magnetic hoop, I should say. I'm using the back edge, or the bottom edge of the zipper to follow along here. That's a little better. A little better. Okay, I'm just going to move that a bit. Okay. Now that you've trimmed that, you're going to turn your hoop over and we're going to put the lining on. Okay, because this isn't your typical bag, I'm going to fold under a 1/2 inch, and you see our zipper stitch? Okay, I'm going to kind of center my lining, and I'm going to go just above it. I'm going to fold under a 1/2 inch, approximately. Okay, and I'm going to tape the center. Then I'm going to go over here to the side. And I'm going to keep that folded under, kind of follow the curve. Just like that. And then again, once again over here, follow the curve-ish. Right? Tape it down. It sounds more complicated than it is. It was even more complicated trying to put it into words. Okay, now I'm going to send it over for the tack down. Okay, as you can see, it tacked down my lining. So now I'm going to remove my tape. I hate when I sew through it, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. So these side tape can stay, all right? After it was done doing that, it did my placement stitches, not that you can see them because I use black, for my strap tabs, okay? So I'm going to take mine. I usually cut them about 3 inches, maybe by a half, depends on the size of the purse. And I'm going to tape them in place. No, first I'm going to open my zipper so I don't forget. I hate when I forget to open my zipper. Open your zipper, okay? Now I'm going to tape these in place. One there. And I'm going to tape the bottom so it doesn't move on me. Okay. I'm going to do the other one, and I'm going to do it the same distance, the same length. There, I'm going to tape the top. And I'm going to tape the bottom, and then I'm going to send it over to the machine to do a tack down. Okay, I just noticed my zipper kind of moving around, so I'm going to tape my little tab down in place because I don't want it to get stuck under my needle because, one, it'll hurt. All right, so now I'm going to remove my tape up here. Okay. All right, now if you want a pocket on the back, like so, see how this one has a pocket? If you want a pocket on the back of your bag, okay, now those are tacked down. Now, if you want an outside pocket like this, you're going to take your vinyl and you're going to tape it in place just below the zipper, okay? Tape it in place because I do not want my pocket to move and get crooked. Okay, and it's a little too long for me, so I'm going to cut that right there so it falls down there, okay? Now your pocket's taped. Now you're going to take your back piece of vinyl, the back of your bag, and you are going to make sure it covers your whole design, okay? Once again, make sure your zipper's open now, last chance. Okay, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to send it over to the machine for a tack down. Okay, as you can see, it's tacked it down all the way around. Okay, now we're going to turn it over to the back, and we are going to take our other piece of lining. And I'm not sure if I reminded you, the lining needs to be at least 1 inch longer than the design, at least 1 inch at the bottom. Okay, and here's the other lining I'm going to put, and I'm just going to tape over the back, just like this. Tape it and then send it over for a tack down. Okay, there we go. It's did the lining stitch down. It starts here and goes around. So it's not, there's no sew there. All right, so I'm going to take all my tape off. Get that out of the way now. Tweezers. All right, take my tape off. Take my hoop off. Okay, side here. Okay, I'm gonna trim out my purse. Okay, I do the sides and top first because, well, first I'm gonna make this just 1 inch long at the bottom because otherwise it'll annoy me. Okay, so from the easiest side to see, do the sides and the top. Okay, and I do it about 1/4 inch or so trim. Okay, now on the bottom, take and fold back your 2 linings. Fold them back and cut the underneath this bit the 1/4 inch. Okay, keep your lining out of the way so you don't cut that. Okay, see, I keep these little bits for my tabs because they're perfect, you know, if you need a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. So they go in my junk pile, I should say. Okay, now where your opening is, right here, cut at an angle, then cut that off, okay? Cut at an angle to the opening, and then cut that off, okay? And I like to cut my corners off as well. And shoot them all across my room. Okay, there we go. There's that. Now, depending on how pliable and flexible your lining is, depends on how easy it is to turn. You're going to turn through this opening of the lining, and you're going to be careful. Go up to the top corner, push that under with your finger and thumb, and then slowly just work it all out through the opening, okay? It's not really usually that hard, just depends, once again, on your vinyl, if you're using vinyl, how tough it is or pliable. And you'll know the breaking point once it goes and you're like, now it's easy. Okay, like that, see? All right, now I'm gonna grab my paintbrush, because that's what I use to push my corners out, a paintbrush, the handle of it. Okay. So I use my paintbrush, poke all the corners out. Something happening here. There we go. That corner was being difficult. Okay, so I got my corners out, and this is what my bag looks like at this time. I use Wonder Clips and glue. If you want to sew it, you just tuck this all under like so, and you sew it. Just make sure you don't catch your purse. Sew it by hand, however you want, or use, you know, tape or what have you, whatever you use. I use glue and Wonder Clips. Just put my glue in there. Oops. My glue is almost empty. Okay. Okay, here's that. Not so sure what glue got down here. Oh, now it did for sure. Okay, and while that sets, I'll take the lid out of my mouth. Okay, now I trim my zipper area. And be careful you don't cut your fabric, you know, or your zipper. So just trim this piece of stabilizer out is all you're doing. All the way to the corners. Okay, and then just be careful you don't catch your fabric, okay? The longer it takes me, it's just the longer my glue gets to set. All right, there we go. And now reach in here and unzip your zipper the rest of the way so you don't rip it. Take the tape that's holding stuff together out while you're there, if you can. There's that piece. There's that piece. Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna take my Wonder clips off. Put them back in my Wonder jar. Okay. Now you're gonna turn it. Make sure when you turn it right side out, you're in between the pocket and the front of the bag. You don't want to try to go between the back and the pocket because that wouldn't look so right. Just push it all out like that. Pull out your corners, your tabs. Right side out. Poke your corners out. Sometimes the corners take a little bit more than just, there we go. See, there's my pocket on the back. And is my corner flipped? Oh, there we go. Once you get it zipped. Okay, what do I have in my way? Lining. Okay, there's my bag. Now I'll put my hardware on, and there's my bag. There's that.